Right, my question is, how do I foster a deeper relationship with Hashem through prayer? Thank you.
Hey Michael, thank you so much for your question. I just finished my morning prayers now, and I've been thinking to myself, how am I going to answer you? What is the essence of Jewish prayer? And I'm going to break it down into two parts, and it probably will end up being two separate videos that I'll send you. So let's begin with the fundamentals that will hopefully be a paradigm shift on how you see prayer. Listen, there is no word in Hebrew for prayer. Prayer is an English word. Prayer is a Western concept. Prayer means to beg, as if we're constantly asking God for stuff. That's not really the essence of Jewish prayer. It's not like God is our cosmic bellboy, that we ring the bell and then he comes and brings us stuff. In fact, how do we even know what we want? We don't necessarily know what we want. We don't necessarily know what's good for us. You may think you want that job, but that job is not the right path for you. You may think you want to marry that girl, but that girl is not the right girl for you. So the authentic Jewish prayer experience doesn't put the asking of stuff in the center of prayer. Authentic prayer is a connection. Authentic tefillah is an encounter. It comes from the heart. It's real. It's spontaneous. It's like an explosion, an ecstatic moment with a boom. I've encountered something real. It's like an exalted moment of worship and praise. It can be heartbroken. It can be heart-wrenching, but it has to be real. It has to come from the inner depths of who you are. It has to be something that isn't staged. What does that mean? You know, a lot of Israelis, when they finish their service in the Israeli army, they go off to find themselves in India or in Thailand, and they don't know what they're going, they don't know what they're looking for. And I remember I had the same experience when I was in high school. This thought constantly haunted me. And I said, you know, who is the real Jeremy? Who am I really? Because I act one way in front of my jock friends. I act one way in front of my righteous friends. I act one way in front of my smoker friends. And then I had a girlfriend, and I said, wow, I act really special in front of this girl. Maybe that's who I really am. Then I realized, nah, that's just one aspect of who I am that she's bringing out. Well, who is the real me? And I discovered that the real me, the only time where I have no mask, because there's no mask to put on, is when I stand alone before myself and before God. Because it's like Adam in the garden. There's no place to hide. There's no pose I can strike. It's just who I am. It's just the reality that is. And living that once a day, reconnecting to your true self, and then being there for a while. Reconnecting to your true self and speaking there for a while is the essence of Jewish prayer. And so in that moment of authenticity, you discover your true identity. And it's important to take time. I take time every day, sometimes with my guitar, sometimes just alone, and I take the time for myself. I find that that's lacking today in the modern world. People are so busy running around doing whatever they have to do that they don't have time to just be with themselves. But then you see that what the prophets of Israel did was they wrote the Psalms. Now the Psalms, that's like, you know, a painting of a sunset. That's not the actual sunset, but some people think, oh, I'm reading this liturgy, I'm experiencing the sunset. You're not experiencing the sunset. You're experiencing one man's record of his encounter with the sunset. But if you really want to see a sunset, you got to go out and actually look into the world and open your eyes to the marvel and beauty of this universe. So people tried to capture it. They tried to somehow encode it in words for future generations to know that they had this ecstatic moment of prayer, that they had this exalted moment of inspiration, and they wrote it down with divine inspiration. Now we can only sort of touch their divine inspiration as we read their words, but for it to be divine for us, it has to come from us. So the goal of Jewish prayer is once a day or 3 times a day. We have a moment of authenticity where we really reach down into the depths of our heart. And sometimes it doesn't need to be from the depths of our heart. It can just be from us, who we are and where we're at in our lives right now, and open ourselves up for an encounter with God. That's part 1. Hey folks, I just finished recording part 1 on Jewish prayer. If you enjoyed that, you have to watch part 2, because part 2 is where it gets really good. Also, if you enjoy this kind of content, check our podcast out on the Land of Israel Network at www.thelandofisrael.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, thanks. Shalom.